Breaking news right now, the Republicans pulling the health care bill. President Trump is expected to make comments shortly. We will, of course, take you there the moment that happens. In the meantime, here now, Freedom Caucus member Trent Franks. He's a Republican congressman of Arizona who met with President Trump about the bill. I want to ask you, sir, right out of the gate, how did you intend to vote today? If the vote had happened, what were you going to do?
Yeah, I will just tell you, some of us were holding back making any public pronouncements to that effect to try to make the bill as best we could. But I would have been a yes vote because I'm not sure a man like me could have, and that was known to leadership, but I don't think a person like me could have voted against a bill that would have defunded Planned Parenthood and at least moved us in a different direction than Obamacare. That said, a lot of us, including myself, had great reservations about the bill that we were passing. And I'm convinced that, as Abraham Lincoln said, that the very best way to repeal a very bad bill, if you'll let me ad-lib just a little bit, that the best way to repeal a bad bill is to enforce it strictly. And this is going to at least let the American people, as sorry as I am that we weren't being able to come together this time, the American people will have a more clear vision of what Obamacare will finally extrapolate out to in just, I think, the months ahead. And I hope that we can come back together and do what's necessary. I have every conviction, every intention of doing just that. And I believe that there are no permanent losses. The truth is, we never give up. Giving up is a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
But there's kind of no, I mean, so you say that you would have voted for it, but you weren't willing to publicly lend your voice to the chorus of people that were trying to get it over the finish line. Don't you feel like, though?
Because I was publicly lending my voice to making the bill a better bill that could have passed with a greater number of people.
But, sir, what do you think are the odds of doing that now, and under what timeline? Because respectfully, it seems like it's going to be much harder to go back to your district and say, you know, we couldn't get our act together to get something done, and instead we're going to let Obamacare collapse of its own weight and strand people. I mean, that's not a party that's leading.
That's not the plan. The plan is to make sure that we have a more clear foundation of going forward as to why this is so important. Some of us have said that for a long time. Now, let me just suggest to you this. It wouldn't have been hard to have put together a bill in the House of Representatives that would have been a consensus bill among Republicans that we could have passed just with Republican votes. But there was one major impediment, and that was the Senate rules that made us try to put this through the Byrd rule in the Senate. It was like trying to push a camel through a keyhole. And the reality is, maybe the American people will finally understand the arcane Senate rules won't let us get a bill to the floor of the Senate without 60 votes. And that means we either have to repeal the laws of mathematics,
so does that mean,
or be
sir,
able to bring 8 senators to the floor and that are Democrat to support us. And that's harder than repealing the laws of mathematics.
But, sir, the last election really taught us that the American people are not willing to sit back and say, watch gridlock happen in Washington and hear the normal problems. I mean, to be a congressman and blame it on a senator, I mean,
No, I'm not blaming it on a senator. To be a congressman is to speak the truth about what's been happening, and we will see this scenario play over and over and over again until we deal with the real issue with gridlock. And the real issue with gridlock is we cannot get anything to the Senate floor without 60 votes. And it has never really protected Republicans. It's never stopped us from being able to interdict a $20 trillion debt or being able to put Iran on the pathway to nuclear weapons.
But do you understand that to the American public, sir?
The American public are willing to hear the truth, and you and the media need to make sure that they understand what the cause of this gridlock really is.
But the American public is hearing the rule makers say, we make the rules, but you know, we can't work with the rules. I mean, you guys are the ones that draw up the battle lines and how things are done.
The truth is that the American people do need to put their focus on where the real problem is, and when they do, those rules will change.
All right, sir. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate your time. Thank you.